Hi friends, today we're going to do my less than 10-minute writing exercise that will improve your writing by expanding your vocabulary. I've selected 3 words for us to play around with our writing. We're going to use each one of these words in a sentence so we can better understand them by putting them into context. I will give you general definitions, but I've also included links below to Merriam-Webster's website where you can find the formal definitions and pronunciations. The 3 words I've selected today for us to play around with are naysayer, ostentatious, and furtive. Naysayer, ostentatious, and furtive. All right, let's get started with naysayer. Let's see what we can come up with for naysayer. Uh, and naysayer, by the way, is a noun, a word that represents a person, place, or thing. And it means one who opposes or is skeptical about something. All right, let's see. They didn't want to invite him on a group trip as he often complained, complained and was a naysayer to anything exciting they had planned. All right. They didn't want to invite him on their group trip as he often complained and was a naysayer. Here's naysayer to anything exciting they had planned. So here's a fellow who probably shouldn't be going on hiking trips or anything that's um, too adventurous. He seems like he is more, he's better suited for things that are routine and familiar. But anyway, naysayer again means one who opposes or is skeptical about things. So he's skeptical about what they're doing. He doesn't get excited about things that are unfamiliar. And he also complained often. So why bring someone who complains a lot when they're on a trip or something when they're not going to make it enjoyable for everybody else. So if you know someone that's a naysayer or someone that is always uncomfortable or unfamiliar with things and they're skeptical about things, then maybe not take them on something, with your friends that would be adventurous or whatever. Anyway, again, naysayer, one who's skeptical. Let's move on to ostentatious. Let's see. Ostentatious is an adjective. It's a word that describes, and it means seeking to attract attention through gaudiness. So you could imagine. I'm sure. I'm sure many of us are familiar with Lady Gaga, and you remember that meat dress she had? That would be considered ostentatious. She's trying to shock you with her appearance. Anyway, let's use ostentatious in a sentence. Um, the women rolled their eyes when a rival girl arrived at the party wearing an okay, that's something similar. The women rolled their eyes when a rival girl arrived at the party wearing an ostentatious dress. So here again, You've got someone that's trying to be very showy or want to like stand out and kind of shock you. Ostentatious, meaning that trying to seek attention by being gaudy or being over the top or too striking. All right, that's ostentatious. Um, and by the way, here's the word ostentatious, and again, it's an adjective. In ostentatious, we're describing the type of dress this woman was wearing. All right, let's move on to our last word, and it is furtive. And furtive is an adjective, a word that describes, and it means done in a secretive way. Okay, what can we come up with? Furtive. He stole furtive glances at his ex when he saw her with a strange man at. All right. He stole furtive glances at his ex when he saw her with a strange man at the restaurant. Um, so you can imagine this fellow who's gone out to eat and happens to, he doesn't necessarily run into his ex, but he sees his ex with some man, and he's taking and making these furtive glances. Here is furtive. And furtive again is an adjective, and in this case, it's describing the types of glances. He's making these secretive glances over at his ex-wife. Um, so you could probably imagine this scene, or if you've been in relationships before, most of us, many of us have, where we've had breakups and we happen to see our ex somewhere and we maybe not want to talk to them or whatever, but yet if they don't see us, we're kind of glancing at them to see what they're up to. Anyway, secretive glances, furtive. That's what furtive means. Okay. Three wonderful, interesting words: naysayer, ostentatious, and furtive. If these words are unfamiliar to you, use them in a sentence. Play around with them. Make them part of you so they're accessible to you when you write. If you enjoyed this writing exercise, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.